With the DS, the average player is much more apt to try out new genres, and thus wacky games like the surgery simulation Trauma Center are born. Now, there's another system capable of pulling off a game like this, and Atlus is more than happy to deliver game-starved Wii owners Trauma Center Second Opinion. It's basically a direct port of the DS Classic, but should it be your primary care physician or sued for malpractice? The story in Second Opinion is surprisingly good, though the way it's told isn't exactly on the bleeding edge. Let's get started. You play as Dr. Derek Stiles, a young hotshot surgeon who's locked in a mortal battle with a condition called guilt, or gangliated eutrophin immunolatency toxin. As luck would have it, he holds an ancient ability called the Healing Touch, which makes him the perfect candidate to take the disease head-on. The story is told through a series of anime stills and some sharply written text. The game is full of interesting characters and intriguing scenarios, with just a touch of voice acting peppered in.
Amazing!
While Second Opinion is a port of the DS original, you do have a new doctor to play as, which supplies you with a few new surgeries to attempt. If you're looking for massively multiplayer surgeries or head-to-head online competitions to see who can remove tumors the quickest, you're out of luck here. Second Opinion is strictly a one-surgeon affair. Well, two if you count the new female doctor. With that said, you'll definitely get your money's worth from Trauma Center. It's not an easy game, but with 3 difficulty settings, just about anyone can find a level of steady-handedness to suit them. The game is split into chapters, with each one containing several different scenarios. Trauma Center isn't going to prepare you for conducting your own surgeries, as it's definitely a simplified version of the real thing, but you'll follow the same basic steps and procedures from incision to stitches.
Good work.
From the tech angle, Trauma Center isn't anything that couldn't be done on just about any console since the original PlayStation. The visuals are simple and serviceable, but don't expect any ER-like cutscenes with doctors and nurses swarming around you like a beehive. It's all about still images and text. And if you typically gag watching operation shows on TV, don't worry, as the visuals almost have a cartoony look. Second Opinion isn't exactly loaded with content, but the single-player campaign is pretty meaty, and the 3 different difficulty settings definitely give it some legs. You can also go back and replay any completed surgeries, trying to get the coveted S rank.
Nice work, Dr. Stiles.
If you think you've already seen all the uses for the Wii Remote, play Trauma Center. It manages to find so many unique ways to use it that it should be encouraging to those who question its long-term prospects. You'll use its pointing abilities to sew up patients, apply bandages, or zap tumors. The motion sensing technology comes into play for things like rotating bone fragments in a shattered arm or resuscitating flatliners with a brand new defibrillator. You'll even use it like forceps by pressing the A and B buttons simultaneously. Best of all, the controls are incredibly accurate and intuitive. When you botch an operation, you'll be blaming all the caffeine and not the controls.
Doctor!
For all intents and purposes, Trauma Center is a puzzle game. As such, a lot of the challenge comes from memorizing the steps for each surgery, and then pulling them off with a steady hand. Each procedure has a set amount of time to complete it, before the patient is 6 feet deep, which keeps the tension high. You can also slow down time using the Healing Touch by simply drawing a star on the screen. The more accurately you draw it, the longer time is slowed. You'll be performing surgeries 90% of the time, but occasionally, the game mixes it up with objectives like defusing a bomb or operating on a plane in between bouts of turbulence. You'll eventually play as a hot female surgeon as well, and in all, it's hard to imagine a developer being more creative with the subject matter or pulling it off in a more intuitive way. Minus the new playable character and a few new operations, Trauma Center's Second Opinion is basically the same exact game that was released for the DS. If you haven't played that version, and you're into new types of games, look past the simple presentation and drop the cash. The Wii controls are integrated almost seamlessly into the gameplay, making for a port that's actually better than the original, and worth at least renting for vets of the series. There's no second opinion needed on this one.